Let's continue to chapter 20. This one is half, I believe. It looks like, roughly, based on what I'm seeing, half the length of chapter 19, which was a lot of story, a pretty decent movement. It was the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, and Lot having incestuous activities with his two daughters, one older, one younger, obviously, but not by his own volition, by the ambitions of his two daughters, who got him drunk and got themselves impregnated. Pretty cool. We're on chapter 20 of Genesis. We're only 40% of the way through the entire book. We're pretty early through the entire book. But this chapter is called, we're just moving on to Abraham and Abimelech. It's a name I recognize, but I don't know who that is or what he does or why he's here. And we're going to find out. This one shouldn't take too long, which I honestly am thankful for because I've spent so much time on the last episode. Recorded much longer than usual. I think my average recording time for one of these, by the way, like the rough cut, as they say in the industry, the raw footage before I've edited anything is around 20 minutes, usually. And then I cut it down to however long. It'd be anywhere between, I guess, 7 is probably the shortest video I've done so far, like 7 minutes. And 15, maybe 18, I don't know how long. At least 15. I watched one of those earlier today because it's got to go up eventually. But it's not out yet. This is all unreleased, and it could all be for nothing. And it probably will be. But I'm doing something and I'm learning. And that's what it's all about. But this one's called Abraham and Abimelech, and he must not be that important because I don't really remember him anywhere else. But maybe he is. There's a lot of the Bible I don't know, despite having grown up in Christianity. Now, Abraham moved on from there, which I guess is Sodom and Gomorrah, or wherever he was. I don't remember. It's been too long. Into the region of Negev. Hey, we talked about Negev earlier. I was on the video that I guess I will learn a lot just by doing this channel and watching my own footage. He moved into the region he moved on from there into the region of Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur. S-H-U-R, not S-U-R-E. Kadesh and Shur. For a while he stayed in Gerar. And there Abraham said to his wife Sarah, "She is my sister." Why is he saying that? Who is he talking about? Gerar? He stayed in Gerar. No, that's a city. And there Abraham said to his wife Sarah, "He is my sister." She is my sister. Maybe he's lying again. If you've watched up until this point, you remember he lied to the Egyptian, I believe, Pharaoh, and said he was a sister. Is he doing it again? The Egyptian got cursed and he was really upset, which I thought was reasonable. He got cursed by God because he takes on Sarah as a wife, and then God curses him because it's wrong to take someone else's wife, but he didn't even know. He was being intentionally deceived by Abraham, but since Abraham's God's boy, he's like, "Hey, I got you," and he curses the Egyptian Pharaoh, which isn't also, that's not cool either. He should have been informed. So that appears to be what's happening here. And there Abraham said of his wife, yeah, that's it. He said of his wife, "She is my sister." I just missed that the first time I read it. Then Abimelech, king of Gerar, that's who it is. Abimelech is a king of Gerar. And that's probably why we're not going to hear about him again, because we're just going to, I guess, get him cursed and moved on. That's my prediction for what happens in this chapter. Then Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. Yep, it's exactly what happened. We've seen this story before, literally, in a previous chapter. We're only 20 chapters in. It's not that far off. Go find it. It's in my videos. But God came to Abimelech in a dream one night and said to him, "Ooh, God. It's not fair that I get to see the previews and you don't." Sometimes I'm reacting to these things because, like, a whole sentence like hits you at once, or at least major part of the sentences do. That's what's happened here. But God came to Abimelech in a dream one night. How does he know if the dream's real or not? Is it like an Inception sort of thing? You can't just be like, "That really happened." Every dream I've ever had, I've been like, "That was a dream. That wasn't real." That's what dreams are. But whatever. God came to Abimelech in a dream one night and said to him, "You are as good as dead because of the woman you have taken. She is a married woman." Oof. That's intense. You're as good as dead? Okay, he says she's a married woman. That's fine. That's appropriate. He should say that. But you are as good as dead. That's a little extreme to me. Okay, it's just my opinion. Abimelech, he hears, this is my sister. He's a king thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, thousands. And he goes, okay, yeah, I take her as my wife. What do you expect? That's how society was thousands of years ago. We didn't have the same standards that we have today. Of course he does that. And then God goes, you are as good as dead. Why doesn't he just go, okay, picture this as an alternative. God goes into the dream and goes, hey, that woman you took as a wife, that's actually not Abraham's sister. That's his wife. And if you don't give her back, like, I'm not okay with this as God. I believe in monogamous marriage. Let's just suppose this for a minute. I don't think you should sleep with his wife. Give her back, or I will kill you. I still think that's a little extreme, but I don't think that should be punishable by death. But let's just go with that. Like, that's so much more reasonable. Instead of this threatening tone of, you are as good as dead because of the woman you have taken. That doesn't sound very nice. She is a married woman. So let's find out what happens. Is he going to get cursed this time? Now, Abimelech had not gone near her. He probably has a lot of wives, so he's getting around to it. He's taking his time. Now, or maybe they just maybe he does. We just assume these guys are like bad people. They probably are, but I mean, he could have been trying to like emotionally warm up to the wife he took, because I really doubt he asked. He's the king in this time, and he probably just took wives. It's possible. Abimelech had not gone near her. That's strange to me if he married her and didn't go near her. Did he marry her? It just says he sent for Sarah and took her. Okay, so he only took her. We don't know that they're married yet. I'll permit that. Now, Abimelech had not gone near her, so he said, Lord, it seems to me like a reasonable argument. Lord, he knows it's God. Will you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, she is my sister? And didn't she also say, he is my brother? I have done this with a clean conscience and clean hands. Yeah, that's a pretty reasonable argument, I think. I don't know what's going to happen here, but to me, that seems like something that God should have already known and that God should have already considered. And that by our arguments and the arguments I was taught growing up, God is omnipotent and he is omniscient. There is nothing he doesn't know. Everything he knows from before the beginning of time and everything after the existence of time is known to him simultaneously. He knows it all at the same time because he has a different capacity than we do in our tiny little monkey brains. But hey, I've been guilty of judging too early before already in the videos that I've made. So let's continue reading and find out what happens. Then God said to him in the dream, is this the same dream? It says in the dream. I'll keep reading. Then God said to him in the dream, yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience. So I have kept you from sinning against me. Okay. All right. That is why I will not let you touch her. Now return the man's wife. Now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you. That's why people do this. And he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all who belong to you will die. Okay, well, you know what? To be fair, that is a lot closer to what I said God should say. I think it's weird. It's still weird that he kicked it off with you are as good as dead because of the woman you have taken. Maybe he means like you're dead to me, like in that sense. Like maybe it's a translation thing, but the wording, maybe our modern, the way we say that today, like you're as good as dead, it means like you are dead, I'm going to kill you. But I don't know, in this context, maybe I'm missing something. That is definitely a possibility. And yeah, God did come back and he goes, I know, he goes, let me back up. I realize everything you're saying is right. I know you did this with a clear conscience, so I've kept you from sinning against me. He's like, that's why you haven't touched her. That is why I did not let you touch her. That's literally what he says. Now return his wife. But if you don't, everyone you know will die. That's what all who belong to you will die. It sounds like a slave thing again. We talked about that earlier. Early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all of his officials. And when he told them all that had happened, they were very much afraid. Yeah. He goes, hey, if I don't get this woman back, you're all dead. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said, what have you done to us? That is so reasonable. Abraham did it once to the guy in Egypt, to the Pharaoh in Egypt. And he's doing it again. He knows this is a messed up thing to do. He's sicking God on people in dreams. He probably doesn't know he's appearing in a dream, but that is messed up. Why would Abraham do this? We praise this guy. He's one of the central figures in the Old Testament. Because everybody comes from Abraham. You'll be like all the dust, all the specks of dust on the earth, all the stars in the sky. Getting riled up. What have you done to us? How have I wronged you? I'm on this guy's side. Abimelech is like completely, what's another word other than reasonable? I just keep using that. He's in the right here. What have you done to us? How have I wronged you that you have brought such great guilt upon me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should never be done. Yes, that's exactly, you're right, Abimelech. And Abimelech asked Abraham, what was your reason for doing this? He gives that whole spiel, that whole preamble. And he goes, what was your reason for doing this? Okay, here we go. Abraham's going to defend himself. It says Abraham replied. He's gonna make a case for himself. Let's see what he has to say and see if it's justifiable. Because to me, he better come up with a good reason here. I don't know where he's going to go with this. What was your reason for doing this? Abraham replied, I said to myself, there is surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Okay. So Abraham's afraid of death. He's afraid of being killed because he has this wife. It's basically the same reasoning he used with the Egyptian king. I still feel like, I don't know. It's not like I'm not there. I'm not in the context. It's a completely different time, different culture, everything. So I don't want to judge based on that. Maybe someone can confirm that in the comments as well. There is surely no fear of God in this place that will kill me because of my wife. But I mean, wouldn't God just protect him? Isn't that like also the thing here? Like, why are we turning a blind eye to that? Why wouldn't God stay the hands of the people? He can keep them from sleeping with his wife. Why can't he keep him from killing people? God's omnipotent. He can do anything. Why are we suddenly okay with the fact that Abraham was maybe we can blame Abraham. Like it's his human judgment. Like God would have stopped him. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to defend him here. I'm doing my best to play both sides. I'm not just here to like trash the Bible. That's not the point of this channel. It's just the atheist reads the Bible. It's exactly what it sounds like. That's what it is. They will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she really is my sister. The daughter, what? 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 Did they talk about this before? Am I forgetting this again? I'm sure, maybe I read it and I don't remember. I would definitely remember this. I didn't misread that. Besides, she really is my sister. What is going on? The daughter of my father, though not of my mother, and she became my wife. So it's his half-sister. The daughter of my father, though not of my mother, and she became my wife. So now Abraham's using what my good friend here in the city that I live in calls leprechaun logic. He goes, technically, she is my sister. She was born of my father, but not of my mother. Yeah, cool, Abraham. You nearly got me killed. You nearly got me killed by God. The one true God. I would believe in that case. I probably wouldn't. That was a dream. That's what I already said. It's earlier in the video. Technically, it wasn't my wife. It is. It is your wife. Technically, she is my sister. When God had me wander from my father's household, I said to her, oh, God, why? I said to her, this is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he is my brother. Oh, I thought he was going to say marriage. This is how you can show me your love to me. Marry me. Half-sister, marry me. It sounds like House of the Dragon stuff. Or no, Viserys? Varys is the crows from Game of Thrones. No, the guy who listens to everything. The spider. He has like all the crows. He has all the people that, he has all the whisperers, the people that inform him. And then Viserys is Daenerys' brother. Sounds dumb if you've never seen it or if you're not a fantasy person. You're like, ugh, fantasy is so stupid. It's actually really cool. You're stupid for not liking it. I'm just kidding. I'm not. This is how you can show me your love to me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he is my brother. Still messed up. It's a little coercive. He's like, if you love me, you'll do this. Which, that's definitely questionable. Then Abimelech brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves and gave them to Abraham. That's how they were like currency to them. And he returned Sarah, his wife, to him. Good. And Abimelech said, my land is before you. Live wherever you like. So he's really trying to overcompensate here to make sure that him and all of his loved ones aren't murdered by God. To Sarah, he said, I'm giving your brother 1,000... What? I'm giving your brother 1,000 shekels of silver. Why doesn't he just keep talking to Abraham then? He goes, hey, the man in your relationship is getting a lot of money from me. Why don't you just continue talking to Abraham? Hey, Also, you over there, come here. I'm giving him so much money. And he's going to be able to do whatever he wants with it. And you will have to listen to him. This is to cover the offense against you before all who are with you and are completely vindicated. Oh, it's one of these hard transitions, these hard line transitions in the Bible that it's super notorious for. Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech. Was Abimelech not well? Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his female slaves so that they could have children again. Oh, he had made them barren. That's what happened. For the Lord, for the Lord had kept all the women in Abimelech's household from conceiving because of Abraham's wife, Sarah. That is crazy. That is crazy to me. He didn't know. He was getting punished as an innocent man. He says that I did this with a clean conscience. Why is God like this? It doesn't make sense. Let's end it there because that's the end of the chapter. I have nothing more to say. That's enough for me.